from Southern Maryland's weather leader. This is a JB Weather Alert.
Hello and good morning, everybody. I am Forecaster John Bordash with you in the JB Weather Center this morning, tracking the impacts of our winter storm that has begun to move through the region. We actually saw impacts begin to sort of ramp up a little bit overnight as snow really began to overspread the area as we headed towards right around midnight, 1 a.m. And now snow is pretty much widespread across our region. And you can even see here on radar that we're potentially even looking at heavy bands of snow trying their hardest to set up. If we put radar to its current placement right now, we can see that where you have those blues, that snow, you can see it's maybe trying to pick up on a band of maybe heavier snow trying to set up through parts of southern Spotsylvania County, Orange County, parts of Louisa and Caroline County, even a lightning strike showing up there, potentially some thunder snow trying to get going, which we will see. I am kind of skeptical on this potentially all being snow, and it very well might be, but when I take a look at a tool that we use, it's called my correlation coefficient. It's a little technical. It just shows me generally how similar or dissimilar shapes are in the atmosphere. We typically can use this in the summertime to denote where we have tornado debris. In the wintertime, it can show us where we have a wintry mix, because snow shapes are generally all shaped the same size and raindrops are all shaped the same size, but sleet pellets and freezing rain, those can differ in size. So where you start to see those like yellows and greens start to show up, that would represent where things are more dissimilar. And we can see that we start to get some dissimilar readings kind of through this region. So this tells me one of two things through this zone. This could either be an area where we see some sleet and mixing occurring, which is possible. This is a region we've been watching, or it could be maybe heavy snow that's differing in size. I think from about Fredericksburg south, so kind of through like Louisa County right now, I would think that this is probably a little bit more along the lines of sleet, but we shall see. I mean, we could be looking at that mixed zone kind of all through there, but I mean, that gets you your general region where we're looking at some of our highest radar returns right now. If we take the precipitation typing off of the radar and just take it over to what would look like normal radar, this is not all snow. However, you do see that we have this band here just south of the Fredericksburg area. This would represent where you have some pretty high precipitation rates kind of all through here. If this does indeed fall as all snow, and if we put the precip typing back on here, that very much matches up, that could be potentially where you're seeing about 2 to 3 inches of snow per hour plus, and this is generally trying to work its way eastward. So we'll see how this does. I do suspect that southern parts of this, and again, we're talking like through parts of southern Caroline County and Louisa County, could be taking a look at maybe some more sleet. Let's go ahead and get on over to the latest forecast update, though. This is a look at snow totals as we had them reported throughout 4 a.m. Reports are rather scarce. You see a limited amount of icons. This map will fill in, though. Limited amount of icons, but our analysis shows through 4 a.m. we had about 2 to 4 inches of snow to our west, about 1 to 2 inches already through southern Maryland, and that number has likely only gone up thus far. Earlier this morning, so this was a radar screen grab I got for you right around 3:30, the National Weather Service had outlined 2 regions that we needed to be watching for throughout the day. To the north, so through D.C., Culpeper, Lexington Park, Winchester, outlined in white, that's the heavy snow threat area. This is where bands of heavy snow are possible. This is where you could be looking at potentially 1 inch per hour snowfall rates, or if not a little bit greater. And then kind of how far east are those heavy snow bands able to set up? And to the south of that, with that pink polygon, represents that icing threat area where snow is starting to give way to sleet and freezing rain, and widespread icing is possible, especially in the southern Shenandoah Valley. And you can see in southern Maryland, we're kind of towing that line. Let me get you my latest futurecast run that just came in a matter of moments ago. And we can see that through about 7 o'clock, it continues to have snow through the region. One thing I will note, and I've said this the last couple days, our future view model here has a hard time really getting the precipitation types. So where you see what looks to be deep blue and heavy snow, that's actually probably some sleet mixing in. And that starts to get up towards Spotsylvania, Caroline County, Westmoreland County. And throughout the morning, we see that we are dancing that line quite close here through southern parts of the DC metro area, with a lull in the activity moving through before we get that second band of snow, maybe a little bit of sleet with that as well, and everything then starts to clear out as we head into the overnight hours. While I am not planning on changing my snowfall forecast, unlike our news outlets, I'm not going to change this mid-storm and say that then we were correct. We'll stick with the call. This is what my model is putting out, though. So not the JB weather forecast, but my model does now like a general 5 to 10 inches of snow from Baltimore point south, and that does include much of southern Maryland. So if this were to happen, I mean, we forecasted 4 to 8. We'd be on the northern side, the upper side of that, where we could see communities getting 6, 7, 8, maybe even 9 inches of snow potentially. This was the latest impact forecast graphic we had thrown together earlier this morning, about half an hour ago. Get you a general idea of kind of where we're headed over the next 24 hours. Heavy snow continues through the mid-morning towards about lunchtime or so. I do tend to think the heaviest will be near US 50, so that runs from Annapolis over to DC. But snow region-wide, we have that sleet and freezing rain right now trying to creep north, and it's going to be the most prone through southern parts of like Calvert and St. Mary's counties as that lull starts to work through. Temperatures hang out right around freezing for much of the storm, but as you look by about 9 p.m., 1 a.m., 5 a.m., temperatures start to really just tumble into the teens. On the backside of this storm, you're wrapping in a lot of cold air, and that's thanks to northwesterly winds and a snowpack that's going to have to cool us off. Wind gusts upwards of 25 to 35 miles per hour will be possible this evening, kind of as the snow starts to wrap up a little bit. So be aware of that. That could lead to some isolated power outages. So we'll continue to watch that. But widespread travel issues are going to be likely throughout the day today. This was that final call forecast. Again, we'll stick with it knowing that we'll probably end up on the higher side of these ranges, but we'll see how everything kind of plays out here. Locally, I am still favoring a widespread 4 to 8 inches of snow. So far, we've already seen about 2 to 4 inches of snow, which is encouraging to see that we're on track with this forecast. I do favor the highest snow totals being in a zone from about Prince Frederick to Hughesville to Indian Head upwards to about like Lothian, Andrews Air Force Base, Shady Side, Brandywine, potentially getting up to Annapolis, Washington, D.C., Fairfax, Manassas. That general region, I think, will probably see some of the highest snow totals. Again, I think towards the upper parts of our ranges, but those winter storm warnings continue through the morning, and we'll see those high impacts coming in from the freezing temperatures with snow, sleet, maybe freezing rain down to the south. But let's get you back on over to live William Richmond Inc. radar, and you can see, let's get some of this off of here. Let's turn off the telestration finish and let's just zoom out. You get a nice general look at how things currently are and how they've been moving here over the last little bit as everything continues to push through. What I do want to try to bring up for us, bada boop, is a look at our traffic network. Let's see, you all are right there, so let's bring you on over and take a look at our traffic network. We do have several roadway issues this morning kind of across the region. Lots of area roadways are shaded with that yellow color that denotes that we are looking at some traffic issues. Still a bit early, so it's going to be difficult to get a lot of quality traffic cameras to see kind of what's going on. But look at Brandywine. It's kind of difficult to see, but you have snow-covered roadways out here. If we take a look, let's say on over towards Chesapeake Beach, see what we got going here. We can see widespread, it's a white color on your screen because that is widespread, potentially heavy snow that is blanketed. Down towards Lexington Park, we're looking at, or the Leonardtown region rather, this is 5 at 243. And you can see we have snow beginning to accumulate on some roadway surfaces, definitely on the grassy areas, but we've been plenty cold, so this will accumulate rather quickly on roadways, and we're going to continue to watch that. See that we're getting some reports in of about 3 inches of snow in St. Mary's County. Very light and fluffy snow according to, is that Marine Patterson? Thank you for that. Plows working steadily in the neighborhoods. We love to see it. April 4 inches on the snow so far in northern Calvert County. So yeah, and if you have any snow totals, oh, there goes a plow as we speak of them. Going right on through. So our plow drivers are out working. Snow emergencies are in effect kind of region-wide. I don't know if I can get that layer. Let's bring this back down. Let's see. Primary, secondary roads are being reported as snow covered in Calvert and St. Mary's counties. Supposedly roads in Charles County not too bad right now, but we'll see if that changes at all. But you see, if you have any interest north, getting up to the DC metro area, you are going to be having a difficult time with snow starting to cover roadways, including some of our interstates. Let's bring it back on over to radar to get you a live look. Brandon's reporting 5 inches of snow in California. Nancy, I do not have to teach this morning. Thank goodness. My school up here in Pennsylvania is closed. And it would be really nice if we can get that to linger into Tuesday. I don't think it's too likely, though, so I will need to get some sleep at some point tonight. Got some sleep last night, though. So feeling recharged. And we're about to crack open into the goldfish. It's 5 a.m., so maybe a bit early still, but, you know. That kind of is where we are. 5 inches in La Plata, 4 inches in Mechanicsville, about 5 inches in Charlotte Hall, give or take. So we can see we have snow really starting to push kind of region-wide, and we will continue to watch all of this throughout the day. And yeah, I'm getting reports of some heavy snow. Actually, if I want to take you on over to a different version of my radar. Let me bring up our interactive pen tool here so I can start to mark some of this up. Help tell the story. Let's get, there we go. So I think this version of radar is actually doing a pretty good job trying to figure out where that rain, snow, sleet line is. You can see that right now it is generally getting that sleet line right past Charlottesville, right through Tappahannock. So it is not far at all from southern Maryland. We're talking maybe a difference of 20 miles or so. But where you don't get the sleet, right on the other side of it, you can see right through here, that's the zone where you will see heavy snow. So you're either going to see heavy snow up to the north or to the south. That's where you're going to get sleet. And that line is very fine. All it takes is just a little bit of a change, a little bit of a warm air coming north to kind of change that up a little bit. But you can really see, like, let's take the precip type off. You are getting bands of heavy snow that really are setting up here in the Luray to Manassas area, right through Fredericksburg. Another one kind of trying to set up near Lexington Park. Even one up here towards the Winchester and Leesburg region. So you have a couple different areas of heavy snow really trying to get going this morning as we continue to track this entire storm, and it's going to continue to move itself on up towards the north. Roads in Charlotte Hall, according to our MDOT network, reporting a snow covered this morning. So you will want to take it easy, but just as we zoom out, you can see our storm as a whole here. Some dry air working in. You can see that little bit of a lull out here towards parts of Ohio. This is where you have some dry air working in, and that's because we're really at this point looking at two different areas of low pressure. We have our primary low pressure system here at the surface, slowly working its way to the east, and then we have our upper level low that's going to help to bring in backside snow. So these kind of work in tandem and both kind of swing out to the east. That's going to allow that snow to move through. So wondering how much North Beach is going to get, and I know answering this one backyard question will usher in a lot of other questions, but you know, what's my backyard going to see? This is what our models are favoring right now in terms of snow totals, a general 5 to 10 inches region wide. I still like a general 4 to 8. I do think we will get some sleet to mix in, but we'll see. That sleet line is quite close to our region. So we are going to continue to watch all of this. Stay tuned to JB Weather. I'm going to have coverage throughout the day, and you can find my updates on Facebook at facebook.com/JBWeatherLLC. X, or formerly Twitter, at JB_weather, Instagram at JB Weather, and to the website, jbweather.net, and over on YouTube. In the meantime, I'm Forecaster John Bordash. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. We will be back here live throughout the day, and I'll have updates for you in written version online. Have a nice and safe one, and keep it tuned right here to JB Weather for the latest information.
Check the forecast anytime online at JB Weather.